Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're joining us from around the world. My name is Natasha Goronya, and I am the Managing Director of the Center for Financial Inclusion at Action. It has been an honor to power the 11th year of Financial Inclusion Week with the support of our sponsors, Citi Foundation, the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation, and Jersey Overseas Aid. And of course, with the support of our strategic partner, the Central Bank of the UAE. It's hard to believe we've already reached the end of Financial Inclusion Week 2025. And what an incredible week it has been. Over the past 4 days, financial inclusion community came together to exchange ideas and to reaffirm our shared commitment to building financial systems that work for everyone. I want to take a moment to thank our speakers, moderators, and session organizers. Your contributions made this year's convening insightful and impactful. And huge thanks to the team behind the scenes. As you can imagine, it takes a lot of work behind the scenes to make an event like this work well. I want to express my deepest gratitude to the CFI team, in particular, Jayshree Venkatesan, Abi Burrell, Sofia Huzar, Hayes Chilson, and Nakia Zaki, as well as our visual artist, Sonia Niederhumer, whose work you can already see even in this session as we begin to close the Financial Inclusion Week. I would also like to thank Action Communications, ResDev teams, as well as our colleagues from Action HR, Marjorie Bryant and Brendan Perkinson organized an Action-wide FIW quiz and watch party. And of course, thank you to each of you. More than 3,100 participants registered and joined us this week to learn and grow your network. This week included more than 60 sessions. Each explored the themes of resilience and well-being in a unique way, and reflecting the diversity of our speakers across sectors and local contexts. We explored themes from digital transformation, financial health, climate resilience, and how to better design user-centered products from savings and credit to microinsurance. And now, before we officially close the week, I'm excited to introduce a good friend of ours who you may have seen at a previous convening of ours to help us reflect on Financial Inclusion Week 2025 in a creative way. We welcome our special guest, MC Hammersmith, the multi-award-winning, brilliant hip-hop comedian who will put some rhythm into our closing. Welcome, MC Hammersmith.
It's a pleasure, Natasha. Thank you guys so much for having me. Look at that. This is good stuff. Thank you, everybody. I understand it has been a very successful and enjoyable Financial Inclusion Week. I did this event a few years ago online, and it was a huge amount of fun. To explain that sound effect and this rap name, my name is MC Hammersmith. I'm one of the world's leading freestyle gangster rappers to ever emerge from the ghetto of middle-class West London, hence the rap name MC Hammersmith. Now, I know what you're thinking. You hear gangster rap, you see me, you think, when did David Tennant and Harry Potter birth a love child? I get it. I realize this look doesn't scream hip-hop. It screams quiche. I understand. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 improvised raps. The second and final one, in just a moment, I'm going to interview Natasha, ask her a few questions about everything that's happened at Financial Inclusion Week, and then do a freestyle rap, completely improvised, weaving in the answers she has given to sum up everything in a memorable and musical manner. That's the idea. But before we do that, I'm going to do a lightning round very quickly, and this is where I need the help of everybody watching this stream. You'll notice there is a chat function here on Swapcard, and momentarily I need everyone to type in some random words into the lightning round. Yes, we're listening. Thank you. This is awesome stuff. I need you to type in some random words into the chat, and I will weave them immediately, simultaneously, into the form of an improvised gangster rap by rhyming with every single word, just to provide a quick energizer to the proceedings and just to prove that this is all improvised. These can be words related to financial inclusion if you are keen. They could be words like animals, foods, or objects, but in a dream world, maybe a word related to the sphere or arena of financial inclusion. I'm going to need a couple of dozen of these in total to inspire the freestyle rap, so I'm going to need everyone to get stuck in and start typing random words. Now, we have grounded and future-oriented. We have gender. These are awesome. Let's get loads more. Ecosystem, absolutely fantastic. I'm going to need loads more. You can try and challenge me, by the way. You can give me words that might be complicated or difficult to rhyme with, or words that aren't even in English, and I can try my absolute best to weave them in. We have payments, women inclusion, resilience, resilience twice, remittances, interoperability. Cheers, Eduardo. Empowerment, global, climate, inclusion. These are all fantastic. Let's keep them coming. And you know what? I'm going to drop a beat right now. I invite everybody to scroll up to the top of the chat from when that first word was there and scroll down with me, because I'm going to put all of these into the form of an improvised gangster rap. And here is the beat. Let's do this. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. I need us to scroll up. Everyone, take your mice, scroll up in the chat window, and we're going to start with the first word. The first word in this completely improvised gangster rap is from Ruth, and it is, of course, grounded and future-oriented. Scroll down with me. Check 1 2. So, people in the place, I only spit the truth. We'll start with the first word right here from Ruth. Yeah, off the top, I leave the rap game astounded. All of the rhymes that I spit are so grounded, but when I grab the mic and this is what I speak, of course, it's been Financial Inclusion Week. So, what I am saying right now is the best quips. I try to be future-oriented. Grab the microphone here on this agenda. Whatever your color, your creed, or your gender, yes, there, or your vision. Right now, my vision is to say you're part of the ecosystem. I have to say, my rhymes are so tactical. What is technology? Which is financial? Financial, leave you astounded. Could have landed that, but I almost mispronounced it. It is fintech. Yes, that's the entertainment. It is a way of course, making payments, and killing rappers might be my solution. But tonight, I'm rapping about women inclusion. That's how it happens. I bust off the dome. Quickest in the place here on the microphone. Resilience is important. That is my advice. So important, I have to say it twice. Just like Lydia and Ease put there in the chat, top of the tip, it is what to declare. And when it becomes a ribbon, the rhyme straight off the tip with this. Cash in the bank, all those remittances. What now? This is absurd. Eduardo, you have given me a difficult word, so give me a second. I spit these quips lyrically. I know about interoperability. Different systems, yes, working together. That's the way I rock it on the mic. It's so clever. See the way I bust right now with astounding quips. All of these rhymes are lyrical empowerment. And off the top, my rhymes are so hopeful. I hope to take, yes, the whole rap game global. Other MCs know I've got range, because this is heating up just like climate change. Let's go faster. It's my lyrical solution. We've had empowerment, so I'll talk about inclusion. Resilience once more. I'm a rhyming sensation. To do it 3 times is rhyming innovation. Other whack rappers might make a mistake, but I've got to say I layer my sweetness like cake. Everybody knows I'm a rapping sensation. To rhyme online, that's digital transformation. What now as I say this with ease? On the mic I'm branching out, yes, just like some trees. And off the top, I am a rhyming buster. DPI, digital public infrastructure. I know about it. Yes, I'm so raw. And we've got fintech. Yes, there once more. You have to understand that the rhymes are so fly. It's like they were written by generative AI. Coming up with a tip. And yes, I'm so dank. Innovation again, but all the rhymes are unbanked because they're all improvised. I'm a lyrical top. I'm fast on the mic while these rappers just a sloth. You have to understand. I say with the sick flow. I'm cashing in. I'm flowing like crypto. I have to say, yes, here with glee. Lydia, what's known as Ulangazi? I don't know the words, but I asked in a language. So off the top, I'm about to cause damage. You have to understand, I roll like rawhide. Now we have resilience, the word 4 times. Consumer protection, I say with inflection. Nothing rhymes with orange, so I'll go in a direction. When I'm on the microphone, I give you my assurance. I'm massive on the mic, not tiny like micro insurance. And that's the improvisation improvised gangster rap based on your words. Thank you very much indeed. I think we got through about 20 of there before the beat ran out. There we go. Look at that. Great rapper. Love it. Wonderful. Thanks a lot. Wonderful. Agile. Francis, thank you very much indeed. I'll see you after the stream. Wow. Impressive comedy and hands up emojis. Thank you guys very much indeed. That was a lyrical warm up just to kick us off with this sort of energy. Thank you for your challenging and interesting words. Moving swiftly on. Last but certainly not least, it is now time to talk to Natasha and do a second gangster rap, improvised off the top of my head, based on an interview that I'm about to have with her. And thank you, by the way, for the stream of encouraging heckles. That's wonderful. I often get heckled in comedy clubs, which are negative. I've never had encouraging heckles, like love it and good job and awesome. Thank you guys very much for the validation live in chat. Natasha, it's been an interesting week, a very successful week for financial inclusion, and seeing all the brilliant speakers and seeing all the wonderful events that have happened must have been quite an experience. My first question I have for your good self, my first question, based on the experiences you have seen in Financial Inclusion Week, are quite simply, what were some of your favorite highlights? That's what I'm asking. What were some of your favorite highlights? First question, over to you.
Thank you, MC Hammersmith. And I just have to say thank you for being here with us and helping us summarize the week and sharing your incredible talent with us of rapping in real time. So the three key highlights that emerged for me throughout the week are community, creativity, and learning. This week's theme was rising uncertainties. And we see rising uncertainties happening around the world. And while it's important to address them for our clients, it's also important for us, the inclusive finance sector, to come together as a community and work together. And this week, we talked about the challenges and solutions, but also partnerships. And I thought that the week shined as a wonderful example of one of those moments when you can really see that we are a community. This year, Financial Inclusion Week also launched a Financial Inclusion Week Plus regional partner initiative, and we welcomed so many new voices. I loved seeing the full regional partner plenaries for Latin America, Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. And I hope that we were all able to see the importance of having fresh voices as well as local perspectives inform our work. We also used AI. There were AI-powered translations with us throughout the week, and over 200 of you were seeing the sessions in a different language, including Spanish, French, Japanese, Arabic, just to name a few. Then I mentioned creativity, and I really liked the Avance panel that was broadcasted to us live from a rooftop in Colombia with the help of a TV crew in a session that spoke about the inclusion of 2 million migrants from Venezuela and innovations that made that possible. We also saw inclusion at play. If you missed it, I encourage you to listen to the recording of Tuesday's session, Disability Innovation for Financial Resilience in Pakistan. I loved how the Global Disability Innovation Hub welcomed a sign language interpreter, and we hope that this made the content feel more inclusive for a larger audience while remaining thoughtful and informative. And then there was so much learning. And I am sure that everyone learned a lot this week. I'm just going to give you two highlights of sessions that I watched. One of them was an on-demand session from our regional partner KMC in Japan, who talked about over-indebtedness in Japan, but also the struggles that they experience in funding debt counseling for over-indebted clients in Japan. And I also, and that was an on-demand session. There was a live session by Busara, who, where they talked about how two people that have similar data profiles can have different degrees of trust. And they talked about this in the context of mapping behavioral research when it comes to uptake of insurance. And they said these two people with similar data profiles can be very different in terms of trust and therefore their desire to uptake new products such as insurance. And this then was something of a leitmotif that continued throughout the week, which was this issue of trust.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. A lot of very juicy specifics there for the freestyle rap, and great to hear the themes of working together, community, and trust emerging in this broader sort of spectrum of resilience. With this in mind, from your perspective, what are some of the key themes that came across from the many sessions at Financial Inclusion Week this year?
So, of course, one of the key themes for the week was resilience. And I mentioned the issue of trust, which I'll come back to, and then data. I'm reminded of the remarks made on day one by Her Majesty Queen Maxima of the Netherlands, the United Nations Secretary General's Special Advocate for Financial Health. And what we heard from Queen Maxima's keynote and from several other speakers this week is that simply having access to formal accounts is not enough. We need to see that clients are becoming more resilient, meaning that they have greater agency to build a sustainable financial future for themselves and their families, with a peace of mind that they can withstand unexpected shocks that may come their way. This year, we also talked a lot more about the practical traction that savings and microinsurance are gaining as products that can help contribute and build people's resilience. We learned about the scale of these products and how they're achieving traction around the world. In fact, the percentage of adults who saved formally rose by 16% between 2021 and 2024. Also, in Lorenzo Chan's keynote on Tuesday on microinsurance, he spoke about the expansion of Pioneer's work that is, and this is an institution that's now serving millions in the Philippines. But we also learned about a large survey that the Microinsurance Network did, encompassing 294 insurance providers across 36 countries. And it told us that 11.5% of the target population in those economies now have access to microinsurance. While this is great, of course, it also means that around 90% of people don't have access to insurance. Insurance and savings are important, especially when we think about those areas of financial worries. And Lyra Clapper in the opening panel on Monday talked about what are clients' concerns. People worry about monthly health bills, health emergencies, and school fees. School fees preoccupy about 20% of adults in South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. In Wednesday's session on What Does Resilience Look Like? Stories from the Daily Diaries project, they complemented some of this data with stories that delved into difficult financial choices low-income consumers must make to support themselves and their families. This included the economic pressures that events like funerals place on people living in Sri Lanka. We know this can be common in other countries as well. Again, what stood out to me is the importance of savings and microinsurance as products that can contribute to people's resilience in situations like this. And then I had mentioned this issue of trust being fundamental. Building consumer trust was at the heart of so many conversations this week. Without the trust of consumers, there is no hope for adoption of products and services, and our goal of driving financial inclusion will stall. Findex shows that one of the reasons those without an account do not access formal banking is due to issues of trust for some. And these issues of trust range from 15 to 32% of those without an account, depending on the region, saying that they don't have an account because they don't yet trust the financial system. So to get to that issue of trust, there was a really interesting session organized on Monday and hosted by Zeno Collab, who spoke about fear-proofing fintech. And they're doing this exactly because they find that in the market where they work, which happens to be India in their case, some clients feel distrustful, especially because of their fears of scams in digital finance. And in a separate session hosted by IPA, we learned about research where 7% of clients in their sample said that they felt disrespected by their mobile money agent in the last 12 months. In the same session, we also saw data from Kenya, Philippines, Tanzania, and Uganda that revealed that most clients don't make use of formal redress, even for serious issues. And when they do, most aren't satisfied with the outcome. In fact, we also see from that research that ineffective redress leads to a reduction in usage. in examples of experiences like this might be then further exasperating issues of trust. And lastly, I'll just mention the data as an important underlying topic that has emerged not only in this Financial Inclusion Week, but for the last couple of years. We wouldn't know about some of the challenges that I shared here with you without data and without people who have done the research. Or in the words of one of the panelists from our session on soup tech, better data leads to better outcomes for consumers. Data is especially crucial for driving important policy decisions to serve the 1.3 billion underserved people around the world.
Wow, fascinating. That's great. Thank you so much. I can see not only in the fantastic art that Sonia is doing, that the themes of resilience and trust, I suppose both on behalf of the providers and the consumers, are such important things that have to happen in this ever-changing world, especially when new technologies are on the horizon. And I suppose, speaking of that, the third and final question I need to ask you before I drop this improvised rap based entirely on all the things that, I tell you what, thank goodness Sonia is there putting all these things as bullet points for me to remember, because there's a lot of very juicy detail that I'm determined to get into the rap. The final question, Natasha, when you think about the future of financial inclusion, where does your mind go and what should the community be thinking about?
Thank you, MC Hammersmith, for that question. I think about the exciting uses of emerging technologies that are transforming our sector and our financial systems, and how we also continue to need to think about safeguards for those exciting technologies. So this week, we explored new and emerging technologies from AI to crypto to digital public infrastructure. And I learned also some of the new ways that people are using new technologies. So there was a soup tech session on Monday where we heard about an AI-powered complaint platform deployed by the Bank of Ghana. This morning, in a session on governance, I learned that some institutions are instituting chatbots as non-voting board members. In a session on AI and inclusive finance, we learned about the interplay between weather forecasting systems and AI in Colombia, in the Magdalena River floodplains, to offer clients warnings when inclement weather is approaching, and along with an AI-powered chat assistant and a pre-approved emergency liquidity loan for clients. We also learned in a separate session that Geopol is deploying voice-to-text in their demand research now. We also had several discussions on digital public infrastructure and open banking. One of the sessions on PIX in Brazil and the lessons there was fascinating. We learned that PIX is one of 100 current DPI deployments around the world, but there are still questions around sustainability of the instant payment portion of DPI. And if you tuned into our panel on cryptocurrencies and stablecoin yesterday, you heard the staggering figures from our panelists that crypto is already in use in emerging and developing economies, and clients use it to save, conduct B2B transactions, and send remittances. Technology, when it works well, MC Hammersmith, it can really help the inclusion gap. But we need safeguards to ensure consumers don't lose trust in formal financial services. Today, 1 in 9 people in the world has experienced fraud when using digital financial services. The cost of this fraud can be incredibly high to those who have low incomes and operate on shoestring budgets. For us to better serve the and the underserved, we have to be at the cutting edge of technology, because that's where the risks and the opportunities lie.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed for, again, so many juicy specifics. That's all very interesting to hear. And the future looks exciting, but challenging in the exact same breath, it must be said. As you say, safeguards are so important. With all this in mind, and again, Sonia, cannot thank you enough for writing all these bullet points down. I'm now going to attempt, thank you, Natasha, for that wonderful summary of everything that has happened at Financial Inclusion Week, all the themes we've addressed, and everything you're looking forward to in the future. I'm going to pop this microphone into its holster just here, so I can be a bit expressive and also drop this beat. This is a completely improvised gangster rap, inspired and trying to summarize everything Natasha has just said, inspired in part by the bullet points Sonia is writing down, which is awesome and is going to be a great help. And this is the beat right here. There we can hear that. Okay. Can you hear me? Am I nice and loud? Is that good? Wonderful. Check, check. Microphone check. Check 1, 2. I'ma grab the microphone and break it down faster. Here's a rap inspired by my chat with Natasha. This is the freestyle I vibe for Financial Inclusion Week 2025. Firstly, yeah, all my rhymes are so tight. I asked you about, yes, all your highlights. And when it comes to rhyming, the microphone I'm burning, you said communitivity, creativity, learning. Communitivity, not a word. I'll destroy this. You mentioned the plenaries and many different voices. Asia, Africa, Latin America, the Middle East, and the AI-powered translations all week. Sickest in the games, how I rhyme it verbally. This year's theme was the rising uncertainties. It's how I spit it truthfully. It's great to see the whole sector embracing community, yeah, because I feel it in my jugular. Love the broadcast, yes, from the roof in Colombia. And who else is there to plug? Well, shout out the Global Disability Innovation Hub. Yes, you talk, I'm a freestyle murderer. Love the live sign language interpreter, because I be off the top so lyrically. Things like this really commit, yes, to inclusivity. Every microphone I'm burning. Another highlight for yourself, Natasha, was the learning. KMC in Japan, they brought the freshness through the whole session on over-indebtedness. Yeah, man, they talked and they gave the assurance about the behavioral differences in insurance. I kind of like the freestyles, which I do bust. Ultimately, like you say, it comes down to trust. Trust that I'ma kill it on every single scheme. I also asked you about some of the key themes. I'm no lyrical amateur. First of all, we have to turn, that's right, to Queen Maxima. She said access to an account is not enough. We need to see clients with more resilience and trust. Greater agency is the name of the maneuver. Resilience for a more sustainable future. Shout out micro insurance, also the savings. These can contribute against all the failings of organizations who've lost their clients' faith. Less advantaged people, yes, they worry every day. Monthly bills and insurance so enormously. Most borrowing for health happens informally. Basically, there are some amongst the millions of products which can contribute to people's resilience. I'd be flowing up the mental. Zooming into focus and trust as a fundamental. If we look to more toward resilient future, at the heart of many talks was the trust of the consumer. Without trust, there's no adoption of services. Without trust, there's no way that we can further this. Without trust, people don't engage with the system. So more trust is needed for an inclusive vision. Yeah, that's right. People feeling the scams. Reduction in usage is not what we want planned. So when I'm on the mic, we let the data unfold to serve the billion underserved people here in this world. And finally, I asked you about the future. What should we be thinking about for the consumer? What do we think as I rock these bars? Emerging technologies which need safeguards. AI to crypto in the DPI. Getting the cost right so the price ain't too high. When implemented, it must be without drama. Complaints on the weather from Colombia to Ghana have already used it. It's everywhere currently. A staggering number. They use the cryptocurrency. It's an undisputable change. It might seem strange, but now they use it to save. While these technologies, they are probably exciting, we have to ensure that the trust is still thriving. Because what leaves me flawed is 1 in 9 people have experienced fraud. So while there the cost can be high, for AI and crypto in the DPI, we have to let all that technology fly, because that's where the risk and opportunities lie. Ladies and gentlemen and people on the swap card, thank you for having me and letting me drop bars. It has been a pleasure to speak in rhyme once again for Financial Inclusion Week. Yeah, that is right, man, straight from the heart. And thanks to Sonia for her incredible art. And thanks to Natasha, I control dope inflection. Make noise, that's the end of the whole closing session. Whew. Thank you very much indeed. Goodness gracious me, so many things to remember there. Could not have done that without you, Sonia. And thank you, Natasha, for those wonderful and helpful specifics. A beautiful summary of everything, I should hope. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, MC Hammersmith, and thank you for sharing your talent with us. What a fun way to reflect on this week.
Thank you very much indeed. If anyone who's watching wants to follow me, it's MC Hammersmith on Facebook, Twitter, and I'm on TikTok now, where children bully me in the comments. Thank you very much, Natasha. Have an awesome rest of your week to you and to everybody, to Sonia as well. Cheers. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Thank you, MC Hammersmith. We only have a few more minutes, and so it's officially time to wrap up Financial Inclusion Week 2025. We hope that each of you had the chance to tune into sessions that sparked new thinking, challenged your assumptions, and maybe even inspired a few fresh ideas to take back to your work. As I shared with you during the welcome session on Monday, our goal is to keep improving and evolving Financial Inclusion Week every year. In addition to the polls for each session, we'd love your feedback on the overall experience. Please don't forget to take a few minutes to complete the FIW 2025 survey that you will be receiving in your inboxes later today. And finally, in the spirit of exchange and collaboration of exchange and collaboration of Financial Inclusion Week lives beyond this week. I encourage you to share on social media the sessions you enjoyed and what you learned. You will find the illustrations of the talented Sonia Niederhumer on FIW website. We will add this link to the live chat as well. Even as we close this year, we are already looking forward to next year's Financial Inclusion Week 2026. So mark your calendars, please. Next year's convening will take place October 5 to 8, 2026. We will be announcing the team and the dates for the session submissions in the early spring of next year. And if you're interested in partnering with us, please reach out to CFI. On behalf of Center for Financial Inclusion, thank you for being a part of this incredible week.